Born a champion! Born a champion! That was painful. That's cute. That was so painful. Well, Happy New Year. Anyway, thank you for being here. I'm Dr. Yachter, if we haven't met. And tonight we've got a very interesting workshop for you. How many of you guys are excited about New Year's? Yeah? Oh, yeah. How many of you have New Year's resolutions? A few of you? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to help that happen just a little bit faster. And we're going to cover some things tonight that are going to accelerate that whole learning curve for you. Statistically speaking, New Year's resolutions usually fade out within what? A few days, yeah, usually by January 4th. So I may have to reel some of you guys in here. So how many of you have been to a workshop before? Keep your hands up if you've been to 3, 4, 5 workshops, 10 workshops, 20, 30, 40. We still got a few people hanging in there. Good, good. All right, so you look around and you're like, oh, why would anybody come to 40 workshops? Because we have a mantra here. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start what? Dying. Yeah, so we always want to learn and grow. It's called constant and never-ending improvement. Japanese have a saying for that. It's called kaizen. You're always looking to improve. There's nothing on cruise control. You know, if you just start cruising, if you stop investing in your health, you don't get better. You start sliding back and getting worse. So mentally, physically, spiritually, nothing is on cruise control in your life, right? So keep coming back to the workshops. The 2018 workshop cards are available. If you haven't got one yet, you can grab it up front. And make sure you keep track of that. Next month we have Heart Smart Nutrition. If you come to 6 or more workshops, you get a discount off of your maintenance plan. So for those of you guys who are patients, you know if you're getting your spine fixed, what's more important than having your spine and your health corrected? What's more important than getting it corrected or getting it fixed is keeping it that way, right? Maintenance, yeah. So maintaining your spine means maintaining your health at its highest level. So this is something you want to do ongoingly, and you just continue to learn and grow, and you'll keep improving your health. You'll stay out of doctor's offices, off of medication, out of hospitals. Do you think that may save you time and money?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what this is. This is your health care plan. We don't have health care in this country. We have disease care. So you're being proactive with your health. You're investing in yourself. You're saving a lot of time and money and adding years to your life and life to your years. So make sure you get one of those. And you'll see every month there's a different topic. Next month is Heart Smart Nutrition. 2 weeks we have a very special workshop for women in particular, women's health. And this will be one of those where you get to learn something new that you've never learned before. Learn how to easily defeat depression, rev up your metabolism, get your hormones humming, singing, sleep like a champ, and win your race. So if you're a woman looking to win your race and be a true champion, make sure you're here. Get signed up. We're only taking a small group, and it's coming up on a Tuesday, not Monday. It's going to be on Tuesday. I know it throws some people off, but we got to keep you on your toes. So Tuesday night, 2 weeks from tomorrow, February 6th. Make sure we get you registered for that. Okay, so why are we doing this now? Everybody wants to lose weight and feel great, have their healthiest year ever. But the reality is that it goes beyond aesthetics. It goes beyond just how you look. It has to do, significantly more with your health and preventing serious problems. Because if you're overweight and your BMI is over 30, you know what you become a risk for, right? Heart disease, cancer, diabetes. It's almost a given. How many of you guys know what your BMI is? So you may want to think about that, because that puts you in a category which is the majority of Americans. 61% of Americans are overweight. A third of us are obese. In that category. Over a BMI over 30 means you're obese. It's a ticking time bomb. And then, kids are not really behind us anymore. There's more kids diagnosed with diabetes than adults every year. And they keep saying, experts keep saying, this is the first generation where the parents are going to outlive their kids. If you can imagine that. Is that insane? Yeah, that's insane. So when we have these conditions like heart disease, stroke, and all that stuff, eventually what it tapers off to is taking years off of your life expectancy. How many years does it take off your life expectancy? 8. So, if The Bible says we're supposed to get 80 to 120 years of good health, right? So, 10% right off the top. And it could be more. You just don't know. You really don't know. Do you know what's happening in your heart right now? How do you know that you're, God forbid, not going to keel over 10 minutes from now or next year? You're in the middle of working, you're in the middle of playing with your kids, and you seize up, and that's it. That's the end of it. How do you know? What are you going to do to prevent that from happening? Yeah, we want to look good. We want our pants to be a little more loose and look lean and look good in the mirror. But we're talking about life or death. That's really what it comes down to. That's why we want to take this seriously. It's cancer, it's heart disease, it's the leading causes of disease that are predictors by your pants being too tight. Are you with me? Okay, I got the point. All right, so when we start putting on weight, what happens to our blood pressure? It starts what? It starts climbing. And you're going to go to the doctor, and they see that, and what are they going to give you? They're going to give you a pill, they're going to give you a medication. You're going to get a blood pressure medication, and how long do you get to take that for? A day, a week, a month? For the rest of your life. And if you're on that long enough, if you're a man, if you're lucky enough to just be on one medication, if they don't put you on a second one, you're going to have problems. So it causes weakness, it causes fatigue, it causes erectile dysfunction, and as a result of that, now we have a $2 billion industry that they call low T. They have all these testosterone treatment places now because of, much of the time, side effects from the medication. So be aware of this. Every drug that you take doesn't have a side effect, it has an effect. For better or worse, they have effects. So when your blood pressure starts going up, eventually, when you're on those medications for blood pressure, it starts raising your insulin levels. And then what happens? When your insulin levels go up, you become what? Diabetic, and then they put you on diabetes medication. So we know this from Wake Forest University that did a study. This was published in one of the prestigious medical journals. They found that people who are taking diabetes medications have a 64% greater likelihood of having heart failure than from dying from the disease itself. So really what they're publishing now in medical journals is that very often the medications that they give you kill you faster than for the disease they give it to you for in the first place. Does that make sense? Yes? No? That's a trick question. It really doesn't make sense. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But this is what happens. I went to my class reunion, my 30th reunion, and I'm 48 years old. And how many of my friends that I went to high school with at 48 years old were on blood pressure medications? You'd be amazed. It's like the norm. More of them were on more than one medication than weren't before 50 years old. That is just insane. That's a United States phenomenon. That doesn't happen in other countries. We're a pill-popping nation. For every ill, there's a what? There's a pill. For every ill, there's a pill. So we have to look at this and say, okay, well, how do we backtrack out of that? Because if it's causing all these diseases that we're being medicated for, well, surely if we correct the cause of that, then we wouldn't need those medications. Like, you ever see people with those breathing, the CPAP machines? If you know anyone who has it, it's a nightmare. It's hell on earth having to deal with that. And very often it's because of the weight gain. They say, one medical journal said a 10% weight gain predicts 32% increase in sleep apnea. So if you put on 10, 15 pounds, just like that, what's going to happen with your breathing? Is it going to get better or worse? Yeah. Your spouse is not going to be happy with that. So backtracking out of that, what does that mean? Very simply, you lose weight, your health improves. Studies show you lose 22 pounds, you reduce your risk of what? Heart attack. By how much? 75%. That's no joke. That's a pretty good return on investment, wouldn't you think, than having to stay on medication for the rest of your life? Right or right? 15-pound weight loss reduces your risk of diabetes by what? 50%. Yeah. In this office, we see this happen day in and day out. People are on our programs and they reduce and get off their medication. Somebody with diabetes, some people don't believe this. They find it hard to believe when we say this, but you can actually reverse type 2 diabetes 100% of the time inside of 2 weeks. And I can't tell you how many patients that I've had, their blood sugar drops so fast it makes your head spin. You have to get on the phone with your doctor and tell them to dial back the requirements when you start doing the right things. So it is an option, and it's a lot of people just don't know about it. Losing 10 pounds doubles your chance of normalizing your what? Your blood pressure. Again, so the problem that I see, and this is my burden, and I'm sharing this with you out of frustration, I see so many people, and I hear so many prayers sitting in church on Wednesday night and Sunday. Lord, help me with this. Lord, help me with that. Pray for this and pray for that. But they're still eating all their meals through a drive-through window. So when comes the time that we get our lifestyle in alignment with our faith, right? Faith without works is what? Is dead. Yeah. So, and again, I think the other part of the problem is there's a blind spot. You know what a blind spot is? Did you ever almost have a near miss accident where you swipe somebody off the road? Where were they? In your what? In your blind spot. That's a part of your understanding that you just can't see. It's like you just don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot of people that just don't know what we're talking about. And that's why we make every effort to go out into the community and speak at places of work and worship and schools and educate the masses. Because it's not going to happen by the advertising that you're seeing on TV. All you're going to see on TV is blockbuster drugs that billions of dollars are paid out by the pharmaceutical companies to, promote their stuff. So line up for a flu shot at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. That's where our education is coming from. By the way, did you know that the United States is only one of 2 countries on the planet where it's even legal to advertise prescription drugs to consumers? Did you know that? It's illegal in all the other countries except the United States and New Zealand. Why do you think we take 50% of all the prescription drugs on the planet? We take 80% of all the brand name drugs. The ones, them, like Prozac, Effexor, right? The brand name drugs. Why? Because you've seen them millions of times on TV. And that's where our education, our brainwashing is coming from. And it's a great business. And they have you from cradle to grave until you understand and you're enlightened and you see the truth, and then you can make better decisions and get better results. The truth is the truth. And there's freedom that comes with that. All right, so no more excuses, right? No more excuses. Once you know the truth, with great truth comes great responsibility. That was in the Spider-Man movie. All right, so after you watch this, you have to admit there's no more excuses left after this. Hopefully it'll work. This thing seized up on me last time. It did not work. Please, Lord, let it work.
Currently in something of a workout rut. This next story may be exactly the jumpstart you need. For decades, Merrill Matzinger has kept his body in incredible shape.
Truly remarkable for a man who was alive when Woodrow Wilson was our nation's president. Kathy Aiken has his story.
This feels good.
Merrill Matzinger warms up for his daily exercise routine.
What?
A routine that always begins with stomach crunches.
That's 501, 502.
A number so amazing it puts most people to shame.
1,500.
That's right, 1,500. And if you think that number's impressive, wait until you hear his birth date.
May 10, 1915. I like my numbers, 5, 10, 15.
Yes, this Salt Lake City resident just celebrated his 95th birthday, a number that baffles just about everyone.
All the doctors that are treating me can't believe, what they're seeing. That's encouraging to, go to a doctor and have compliments rather than prescriptions. Stretch out.
Merrill does have one limitation. He's legally blind, but that hasn't slowed him down. In fact, over the last 20 years, he can remember missing his daily workout just once, and that was 2 weeks ago when he was busy moving.
The real success is when it's a natural thing and you come out smiling from it.
An attitude that began after a very unhealthy start.
My first lucky thing was the survival of the 1918 flu epidemic. And the next one was I had a ruptured appendix before they had penicillin.
But overall, Merrill says he's been in tip-top shape.
I could last forever this way. I don't have anything major that's bothering me except the joints.
And all my other clients that I train in here would like to be as fit as he is at their age. And they're 30, 40, 50.
Merrill can see living.
So I don't know if you guys heard that, but he's 95 years old. And the doctors can't believe the shape that he's in when he goes to the doctors. And what did he say? It's nice to get from the doctors compliments instead of what? Prescriptions. That's the most important thing that I got from that. And again, you get out of it what you put into it. Nobody says you got to kill yourself in a gym for 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. You just should be doing something. You know, if you don't want to take medication, you got to do something else instead. And you can't just do it sporadically. You have to do it regularly. And it doesn't have to be a boot camp military thing. It just needs to become a habit. Because habits, you know, put you on the fast track to success. We're all slaves to our habits, for better or worse. If you have bad habits, then you're on autopilot to bad things. But if you have good habits, you're on autopilot to success. Right or right? Are you with me? So a good habit usually takes 20, 30 days. If you do it consistently, then if you don't do it, it's kind of like a weird day. You know, so if I don't work out for 3 days, I start itching, like my skin starts crawling, like there's something wrong with me, you know? But other than that, I love starting my day with my rituals. You know, so every day's the same for me. I get up, I make myself coffee, I sit down, I read the Bible, I pray, and I work out. And if I do those things, I know it's going to be a great day, because my cup is filled up. You can take out from me a little bit, all you want, but I'm still going to be able to pour out more than is coming. So that's how I see my life. You know, I'm a servant, I'm a giver, I'm a lover. I want to lead, but I gotta fill myself up. So one of my early mentors said, "Who can anchor to an unanchored mind? Who can anchor to an unanchored mind?" You got to anchor yourself. You got to anchor yourself to something when you wake up in the morning. But I also call it the spiritual triathlon, because you gotta you know, you read, you pray or meditate, but you got to work out, because you got physical, spiritual, and mental also, right? So you got to fill yourself up from all aspects, and that's where the exercise comes in. So how many of you guys have ever dieted before and you've lost weight? Okay, I want you to keep your hand up if you lost the weight but it also came back. Okay, well, we've all seen that. I mean, I've lost weight and I've gained it back also. We've all experienced it probably at some level, maybe not recently, maybe a long time ago. And there's a reason for that. And I want to explain that to you because maybe some of you guys are here, you want to lose weight or you want to maintain your weight. And I'm here to tell you that it's got less to do with calories and more to do with hormones. It has to do with your metabolism and hormones. Hormones and neurotransmitters are going to what's going to raise and reset your metabolism. If you don't fix your metabolism, you haven't fixed the cause of your weight gain or your weight problem. Anybody can lose weight. It's simple. You just cut calories. You starve yourself. But in the process, what you're doing is you're slowing your metabolism down. So when you're done with your diet and you've lost all that weight, which is just water and muscle, and you start increasing your calories with a slower metabolism, guess what starts coming back? All the weight. And then some even more. So if you mess up the metabolism, you're doomed. And I want to teach you how to control your metabolism by balancing out your hormones. Does that make sense? Okay. So basically, that's how the game works. So there's a few things that we're going to cover tonight. There's 5 keys. How many keys? 5 keys to promote full-time fat burning. Raise your hand if you want to be a full-time fat burning machine all day long. Woohoo! Yes, we all want to be a fat burner. So we have to do intentional things. If you do them intentionally, you know what your outcome is going to be, you know what your target is, and you know what you're shooting for. So you have to have a precise exercise strategy. So I can tell you that if you exercise in a certain way, you'll create a hormonal response that's going to put your body into full-time fat burning, at least for the next 36 hours. And what if I told you only had to do that for a few minutes, like less than 10 minutes every day? That would be a pretty good return on investment. All the excuses go out the window if you can't do it in 10 minutes, right? All right, so that's what we're talking about with exercise, to create a hormonal response, not to cut calories, not to burn calories. You don't lose weight by burning calories. You lose weight by revving up your metabolism and creating a hormonal response that causes you to lose weight. And that's what we're going to talk about. You've got to eliminate sugar, toxins, and bad fats, because this is going to cause your body to store fat instead of burn it. You have to alkalize your diet, because this is what's going to allow your body to release the fat. Wouldn't it be nice if your body just went, I don't need that, bye-bye. Yeah, so how do you do that? You know, it doesn't have to be a struggle, it doesn't have to be a fight, it would be nice if it just freely just melted right off you. Wouldn't that be cool? Even if you don't have to lose weight, how would you like to be just a little bit lean, like more muscle and less body fat? Even if you didn't lose weight. Wouldn't that be cool? Like if your body weight stayed the same and you increased muscle mass by 5 pounds, but your weight stayed the same, but you had more muscle? How does that work? Well, you have to lose something in order for your weight to stay the same. So how cool would that be if you lost fat but gained muscle? Your weight could stay the same, that's fine. I'm good with that. Would your physique look different? Would your body look different? Would you feel different? Of course, if you have more muscle mass, the more muscle mass you have, the more able your body is to burn fat more quickly. So I want to talk to you about that. Precise hydration and mineral balance, and optimal nerve supply. So we're going to talk about all these things. Let's talk about our exercise strategy. When it comes to hormones, there's a couple of hormones that are really important when it comes to fat burning. Can you guys hear me all right? Okay. So glucagon is one, because glucagon is a hormone that actually controls blood sugar. And when glucagon goes way up, basically it's controlling your blood sugar. It's keeping your blood sugar low. And when you have low blood sugar, you're in fat burning. Another hormone is cortisol, which is right below it. Cortisol also is an important hormone for fat burning. In the morning, cortisol goes high to give you energy, but then as the day goes on, it's supposed to come lower and lower and lower. When you're under a lot of stress and you're anxious all the time, you know where cortisol stays? All the way up there. And cortisol has a habit of taking insulin up, and when insulin goes up, you're out of fat burning, and now you're in fat storing. Does that make sense? Okay. So then you have human growth hormone, which is what's responsible for making lean muscle. And you have insulin. Again, you want insulin levels to be low if you want to stay in fat burning. And then you have leptin also, you want to stay low to be in fat burning. So if you look at the guy on the left, the sprinter, and then you look at the guy on the right, the jogger, which guy looks healthier and more fit? The guy on the left, yeah. Does he have less or more muscle? More muscle. And you compare that to the guy on the left, and he looks emaciated. Now, he may be able to run 10 or 20 or 30 miles in a day, and you may say he's fit, but is he healthy? No. And there's a lot of science showing how unhealthy it is to do that for long periods of time. That's why I don't do that anymore. I did a marathon one time, just checked it off my list, but I could tell you, it was rough on my body. It was very rough. I remember being out for 3 hours, on a Sunday. Not only did I not see my family for those 3 hours that I was running, I spent the next 3 hours in the bathtub, because of my aching body. So the hormonal response that occurs after you burn off all those hundreds of calories during that long duration exercise is the opposite of fat burning and lean muscle mass. The hormonal response after long duration exercise, like an hour, an hour and a half, when you do that, it's all high stress, low cortisol, high insulin, and low human growth hormone, which is what causes fat storing for the next 36 hours. It kind of puts your body in a survival mechanism, if that makes sense. But if you're doing short bursts, high energy, like the sprinter, getting your heart rate up to 80, 90, 100%, just for a short period of time, just like 20 seconds. And what's going to happen is, the next 36 hours, you may not be burning a whole lot of calories for that short period of time, the 10 minutes that you're working out, but the hormonal response that it's creating over the next 36 hours is pure fat burning and muscle building. Are you guys with me? Okay, so we got to take our focus off burning calories standing on a treadmill for 45 minutes or a bicycle, and we got to get our mind fixed on creating the hormonal response. And if you got that, then it's going to be super simple, especially from a time perspective. So what does that look like? How do I burst train? Bursting or surging means, going all out for just 20 seconds and then resting for 20 seconds. Question is, how often do you have to do that? 90 to 100% of max for 20 seconds. Cause your body burn fat for the next 36 hours. Only 3 to 4 sets of 20-second bursts. How many times a week?
3 times.
Just 3 times a week. You don't want to do every day. More is not better. And so this is what it looks like. I'm going to take you guys through it so that you can get a feel for what it looks like. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you run in place, and it doesn't matter if you do sit-ups or jumping jacks, or if you run stairs, or you do push-ups. You just pick an exercise, and maybe you do a different exercise for each set. But what you want to do is make sure that you just do 20 seconds all out. So I want you guys to get a feel for this. So I'm going to have everybody come and stand up, okay? And we're gonna just do like one set so you can see what it looks like. All right. So we're just gonna run in place, move your arms up and down, okay, and just follow along. Ready? Go. So imagine you're doing an exercise, and you're going all out, 90, 100% maximum heart rate. That's 10 seconds. You're gonna keep going. 15. We're gonna stop at 20. Okay, stop. Just rest. We have 20 seconds, and then we're gonna start back up again. How do you feel? You feel like a fat burner? Almost? Okay. 5 seconds. Nobody's winded, so this is, again, the excuses are out. All right, go! Come on, move it. Harder. Faster. Get those hormones humming. Say, I'm a fat burner.
I'm a fat burner.
Go, go, go. All right, stop. All right, so we're going to rest. I'm starting to sweat. I don't know about you guys. Woo! This is good. All right. Let's get some high fives. Turn to your neighbor. High five your neighbor. All right. One more set, guys. One more set. Here we go. Go. Last set. Come on. Get those arms up. All the way up. Turn to your neighbor. Say, I'm a fat burner. All right. Good. Give yourself a round of applause. All right. Go ahead and grab a seat. That was good. Okay. So that's one set. That's one set. Now, if you're not used to working out, then that's good enough. How long did that take us? That was just under 2 minutes. To do that, that was under 2 minutes. So if you're just starting out, do that your first week. Next week, you rest 2 minutes after what we just did. You rest 2 minutes, and then you do one more set. 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off. Okay? The third week, then you add another one. So you always rest 2 minutes in between your sets. See how that works, guys? Do you have to run in place like that? No. You could do it on a bike. Yeah, if you're outside, you could do it on a bike out there. Put the gears, whatever gear is good for you, and just pedal all out for 20 seconds. You can do it on a stationary bike. You could do it on a treadmill. You could do it outside running. You could run in place. You could, even if you can't get out of a chair, you can at least do this with your arms up and down and get your heart rate up. You can do sit-ups, push-ups. It really doesn't matter. What's the most important thing? Getting your heart rate up. For how long? 20 seconds. And then giving 2 minutes to let your heart rate come back down so that you can prime the pump all over again. So what kind of hormonal response is this creating? What's it doing? It's making your body create human growth hormone and testosterone, which makes what? Muscle. There you go. Lean muscle mass, which is going to prime your metabolism. It's going to keep your metabolism going. For the next 36 hours, your body's going to want to burn fat. And that's the most important thing about what I'm hoping you're learning tonight. Now, on the alternate days, again, if you're one of those people who think like I do, like, hey, I don't want to take this blood pressure medication for the rest of my life. I really want to do something, try to wean myself off or do something else instead. You think of this as kind of like a medication alternative. And so, if I was on medication, I wouldn't be taking it 3 days a week, would I? So if some of you guys who take your medication, you don't take it every couple of days, do you? So it's the same thing with your exercise habits. If you're not going to do one thing, you can't make up your own game. So you got to do something else instead. So you want to exercise every day. So you do this 3 days a week, and then the brisk walking you're going to do, or brisk walking or a light jog or ride your bike. Keep your heart rate super low. Keep it at like 50% maximum heart rate. You go out for a brisk walk. Do something for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I would say, do some sort of exercise 6 days out of the week, 6-7 days out of the week. I always do something. If Sunday's my day off, I'll do a brisk walk for 15 minutes. But I'm pretty consistent, you know, day in and day out with doing something. I just make sure that I vary it. I don't hit it hard with what we did, getting my heart rate up every day like that. On the off days, I keep my heart rate low. Are you guys with me? Any questions on that? Okay, so the most important thing is the hormonal response. Second thing, eliminate sugar toxins and bad fats. So let's talk about sugar. What does sugar do when you have sugar? What does it cause? Insulin to go up. When insulin goes up, are you burning fat or storing fat?
Storing.
Right. Okay, so what kind of foods would cause that to happen? Take you out of fat burning. What's going to take you out of fat burning right away? Bread, what else? Pasta, rice, potatoes. Does that mean you can't ever have that stuff? No, it doesn't mean that. But yeah, but if you're on a program and you're trying to lose weight and you want to stay in fat burning, you don't want to corrupt that program. You know, so it doesn't matter. Like you could be at a party and you say, oh, it's only 5 Doritos. No, you missed the point. It's not the 45 calories of the 5 Doritos. It's the fact that you just put corn in your system or bread or whatever it was, and what did it do to insulin? It provoked an insulin response. You put the hormones in the wrong direction. You see? So it's got less to do with the calories, and it's got more to do with the what? The hormonal response. So that's why sugar is so important. It's sugar. It's not just like the chocolates and the sweets and the sugar and the white sugar, the stuff that you put in your coffee. It's not just that. It's everything that turns into sugar. Whether it's complex carbohydrates, some of them good, some of them not so good. You just have to be careful with that. So like if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on a program, if you're trying to really like lose fat and keep your body in fat burning, the thing that we keep our patients on is proteins, fruits, and vegetables. Proteins, fruits, and vegetables. Proteins, fruits, and vegetables, right? And it's as simple as that. And and then after you've hit your mark, then you can have a day or so where you go off and you have your complex carbohydrates. You have your potatoes or your rice, and that's what I do now. Let me explain to you how, when you lose the weight, here's how it starts creeping back on you. You get out of the habit. You get out of the habit. So, like, what I'll do and what I recommend is once let's say you lose your 10, 15, 20 pounds, whatever you want to lose, you did a certain thing to get there. But then to maintain that, you can have like a cheat day. But one cheat day is fine, you're maintaining, but then you put another cheat day in there. Like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like I did that one thing. I went to La Bamba, I had the rice and beans, and my weight didn't go up. Look at that. Wow. I'm good. I'm golden. I'm set. Right? But then you do it a second night. Now 2 out of the like 7 days, you cheated. Right? Well, it's only a pound. It's not a big deal. And then you can put a third night in there, and like now you're closer to 5 pounds out of range. But it's not just the weight. Now your metabolism is slowing down. Now your hormones are out of balance. You see? So now your body chemistry has been altered by all of these little decisions that you have made over that period of time. So I'm just kind of exposing this because that's how we think, right? We think that we can get away with it, and it's like a little thing, and too many little things equal a big thing. That may be not so good. Does that make sense? You guys know? Some of you guys know what I'm talking about? I know it's true for me. Like if I have a piece of pizza, I'll make sure that I'll go over here to Vito's. I love their pizza. And I'll have 2 slices of pizza with pepperoni and sausage, but I'll make darn sure that I do it on a day where I have cardio. Like, and that's what I do. I'm revving my metabolism up, and I'll have that pizza right after, so I burn it right off. You don't want to have pizza on a day that you don't exercise. Not a good idea. Yeah, because what's going to happen to the scale? Going up. Yeah, going up. And not to the floor you want. So make sure that you're aware of the sugar intake, and because of the hormonal response, not because of the calories, and not because of the portion size. It's the hormonal response that causes us to pay the price. Okay, so what about toxins? Why are toxins so important? Because what do toxins do? They attack the thyroid. Yeah, and so when you're toxic, these things are poisonous. Don't toxins cause cancer? Yeah, they're very dangerous. So what does your body make to sequester or hide away all those toxins? It makes what? Lots of fat. Yeah, adipose tissue, adipose fat. Your body makes lots of that to protect your body from the toxins. Now, where are the toxins coming from? Yeah. So how many of you guys were at the toxicity workshop that we had a couple of weeks ago? You learned a lot, didn't you? It's pretty scary. Amalgam fillings, lead, mercury, it gets passed down from mom. You know, it's in your shampoo, your toothpaste. The water's contaminated with lead. Over 2,000 cities in the United States. Worse than Flint, Michigan. You know, it's lipsticks. How many of you guys wear lipstick? Not guys, girls. In a recent study, they found 20 out of the 33 lipsticks that they tested had a high lead content. You know, so we're not aware of this stuff, but it's everywhere around us. We live in a toxic world. These are cancer-causing chemicals that are going in our body, and when more is going in than your body can get out fast enough, it stores up in those cells, and it's not a good thing. And so what happens is, again, this causes your body to store fat. Not the thing that we want, but it's a real factor, and I want to show you what you can do to help that. Hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils, what are these things? Hydrogenated fats, trans fats, are those good or bad? They're bad, yeah. So when you go to the restaurant, like if you go to a healthy restaurant, so to speak, like Ruby Tuesday, and you go there and like I did you know, a little while ago, I like Ruby Tuesdays because, you know, you got the salad bar, you can get a chicken breast, you can get a piece of salmon. You would assume that you're in a safe environment, right? And so I ordered the salmon, and I got the string beans, and I got the salad bar. And I said to the waiter, I said, can you pan-sear my salmon in butter? He's like, yeah, we can do that. I said, no, but I need to make sure it's real butter, like not imitation butter or margarine or anything like that. Can you be sure of that? Because what is imitation butter? It's hydrogenated oils, yeah, and it causes inflammation, which causes acidity, which causes your body to store fat. So, so he says, you know, I don't know that we can do that. I said, can you bring me the manager, because I was here one time before, and I haven't seen you here before, and they were able to prepare it for me. So the manager comes over and he's like, oh yeah, we could give you real butter. We put it on the baked potatoes. It's not a problem. But if I didn't go that extra step, and you know, I was like, I didn't want to be pushy, and you know, I don't want to make a problem. But if I didn't go that extra step, how would they have prepared my food? With what? With margarine, with trans fats, which causes inflammation, will trigger a hormonal response, and I don't get the benefit of eating something healthy that I thought I was eating. So it's the same thing when you order extra virgin olive oil. When you do that, and you're in a restaurant, ask them if it's real olive oil. Otherwise, they could be bringing you canola or corn oil or vegetable oil. You'd be surprised at how many restaurants you go to, and you know, the servers don't know. They're just refilling the bottles, and a lot of it is vegetable oil, and that's a killer, guys. It goes against everything that you're learning right now. It causes inflammation at the cellular level, and this cellular biology is the key. Like, your understanding with this is the key to your success, because health happens at a cellular level. Where in your body do you not have cells? Do you have cells in your brain? Nobody's raising their hand. maybe we don't. We killed them all off on New Year's Eve. I don't know. So we got cells in our brain, cells in our heart, your pancreas, your liver, your stomach. You know, you have a new stomach lining, all new cells in your stomach in 5 minutes. Did you know that? Did you know that every cell in your heart has been replaced in 90 days? So your body's making new healthy cells all the time, or unhealthy cells all the time. New cells are coming in. Old ones are going out, new ones are coming in, whether you like it or not. Which ones do you want coming in? The good ones. And the ones that are there, you really want to try to allow them to heal and repair before their time is done, so that you can get the most out of what you got. And the cellular membrane, those two red lines around there, that's 2 layers of fat. And the cell membrane is permeable. What does that mean? It means good stuff has to go in, like your vitamins, minerals, your hormones need to communicate through that. And then the bad stuff has to get out. And the reason why the good stuff has to get in is because what's inside the cell is important things like mitochondria, which makes all the energy. How many of you guys want more energy? Say aye? Aye. Yeah. Well, if you want more energy, you got to get that good stuff in, right? And if you don't want to feel tired and poopy, you got to let all that bad stuff out. Well, if the cell membrane is inflamed, guess what? That membrane's not working too good, is it?
No.
So good stuff don't get in, bad stuff doesn't get out, you get congested, and you've got problems with your health. And you see those little squiggly thing up there?
Yeah.
Those are receptors for vitamins and hormones. And those receptors are what take the vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, E, K. They take hormones like insulin into the cell through the membrane. And estrogen, testosterone, thyroid hormone, all the hormones that are in your body have to connect to those receptors to bring those messages to the DNA to either turn on fat burning or turn it off. To turn on your cancer-causing genes or turn them off. To turn on your diabetes and your heart disease genes or turn them off. And guess what? If those hormones are not getting in and doing what those cells are designed to do, you're turning on disease genes. And the problem is that if you've got kids, you're passing those genes on to the generations in the on position. They gave in a group of mice, there were two groups of mice, identical twins. And they gave them the same nutritional diet, but one, they introduced a toxin, a very serious toxin. And it turned on the obesity gene in the mice. And then the next generation, with again, not introducing the toxin again, eating the same stuff, passed on the obesity gene to the next generation. It went 4 generations out. So this stuff is real, guys. If you want your hormones balanced, estrogen, testosterone, your thyroid, it's got less to do with taking more of those substances in through bioidenticals and all the other treatments and therapies, medically speaking, until you've corrected the cause, the source, and the root of why your body is not able to hear those hormones. Because you could take in more and more of those hormones, but it's not getting into the cell, right? If you're inflamed, if you got too much sugar, too many toxins, and what else? Sugar, toxins, and hydrogenated fats. What does that all cause? Can you see the fire down there? Inflammation. What does it cause? Inflammation, yeah. And until you reduce the inflammation, you'll never get the cell membrane working right. And if you don't get the cell membrane working right, you're not getting your hormones balanced. And if you don't get your hormones balanced, you ain't going into fat burning. Hello? All right. I don't want to beat a dead horse anymore, so let's move on. So what do we got to do to fix it? We got to add good fat. Why do we add good fat? Because good fat doesn't make you fat. Good fat helps you burn fat. The good fats are anti-inflammatory. So the good fats help to quell the inflammation at the surface of the cell and the arteries and all cells and tissues. And that good fat helps to rebuild and regenerate the cell membrane. Because what is the cell membrane made of? Fat, right? Doesn't that make sense? That's why you have to have these good fats. So many people are so sick because for so long they told us to have a what? A low-fat diet. Yeah. And that was the worst thing that we could have done, is listen to that recommendation. We got to have more fat. You should have fat in every meal. When people go through our weight loss program, this is the one pitfall that a lot of people hit. We try to raise their calories and get their metabolism to stick where it's at. But if you don't have fat in every meal, it doesn't work. You got to have fat to keep your metabolism stimulated. Fat for breakfast, fat for lunch, fat for dinner. Okay, so avocados for lunch in your salad, olives, coconut milk for breakfast, in your shake, coconut oil, you can put that in your coffee, butter on your vegetables for lunch or dinner, extra virgin olive oil on your salad, on all your veggies for dinner, and like I always say, make it swim. Make your veggies swim in the olive oil. Make sure you get a lot of it. Okay, because it doesn't matter how much of that fat you have. It doesn't matter if it's 30, 40, 50, 60 grams of fat a day. If it's good fat, are you going to get fat? No. So if you look at the stuff that I eat every day, I never really measured it. Once or twice I sat down and I remember last time I calculated how much fat I have in one day. It's probably like 80 grams. But it's good fuel and it is fat burning and it's good for your brain and it's great for cellular healing. So make sure you got a lot of that. You can snack on nuts, snack on almonds, walnuts, and again, it'll keep you in fat burning. Third thing you want to make sure that you're doing is alkalizing because your body has a specific pH and it's kind of like a pool. You see the pool on the left? What color is that? It's green. What color is the pool on the right? Obviously, that's the one you want to swim in, right? But what's wrong? What's wrong with the pool on the left, and what's right with the pool on the right? What's that? One's acidic. Yeah, where the pH is out of balance in the pool on the left, and because of that, there's been an opportunity for bacteria, yeast, fungus, mold, whatever, to develop in there. But when the pH is balanced, it removes the opportunity for that. And so you have to keep the pH balanced in your body to remove the opportunity for sickness and disease to develop as well. And science shows that. Cancer cannot survive in an alkaline environment. Somebody was given a Nobel Prize for that back in 1931, Otto Warburg. And so this is very real, guys. So we know now, and we can use this to our advantage. More alkaline, the more fat burning it's going to be. Your body's going to be releasing that fat. So it's going to be letting that go. And the more acidic your diet is with man-made foods, processed commercial foods, meats, caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, soft drinks, milk, highly acidic. Milk leaches, it leaches the calcium out of your bones, if you didn't know that. Milk doesn't make strong, healthy bones. It actually makes your bones weaker. It causes osteoporosis. So when you understand this balance, you try to do everything that you can to move more into the alkaline range. Another thing is precise hydration and mineral balance. And if you're dehydrated, unfortunately, what it does is it creates more of an acidic pH in your body. And that contributes to inflammation within the cells, the cell membranes. And what does that do? It causes your body to store fat instead of burn it. It causes sludge in the bloodstream. It causes clumping of the blood. And I've seen this on live blood cell microscopy, and it's not a pretty thing. So if you're drinking lots of soft drinks, if you're drinking a lot of coffee, then you really need to drink more water. You should be drinking about half your body weight in fluid ounces. How much? About half your body weight in fluid ounces, yeah. So on average, about 2 to 3 liters a day. And the other thing is that I've met a lot of people who drink a lot of water, but they're still dehydrated. When you look on their body composition analysis, it should be right around 50% or so. For some people, a little bit more. And these are people that are they're drowning themselves. They drink 3-4 liters a day, and many of them are like in the 30% range. They're in the danger zone. Why? Because if you don't have the proper minerals, the cells actually shrivel up like raisins. But if you have the proper minerals, they actually open up and they plump like grapes. And so very often, in a lot of cases, it's not even coming down to drinking more water, it's really more making sure that you have the right mineral balance. And one of the ways that we help with that, and this is something that I use every single day, I've been doing it since I went through this weight loss program, is the pink salt. And that has all of the minerals which have not been destroyed by the heat processing that they use with typical salts. It's a blend of Mediterranean sea salt and also sea salt from the Hawaiian volcanic ash right around the seas in that area. And so with most of these other salts, they superheat them to like 1100 degrees. It kills out, it burns out all the minerals. So this is one of the easy ways to get that back in. It's solar dried, so all the minerals are in there, 90 plus minerals, which will really help you hydrate and burn fat. The more hydrated you are, the more you're going to burn fat. All right, shoot, talked myself up a storm here. Let's take ourselves a mental break. All right, I want to ask my dynamic staff to come up. And where's Kelly? Huh?
She's coming. She's on the phone. There she is.
I want to love on you guys. I want to take an opportunity to tell everybody here how much I love and appreciate my team. They're awesome. They're the best. And it's nice when you can go home and enjoy your family, but it's also nice when you can go to work and be with people that you love too, and enjoy doing work with. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have a job and You just hate it. You just don't like the people there. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing when you have a family at home, and it's a blessing when you have a family away from home. So everybody, give them a big round of applause. Okay. So I want to recognize a few people here, and the first one is for perfect adjustment attendance. So when we call your name, if you can stand up, and what we're going to do is we're going to crown you with a medal, and if you can see that, we're going to put that around your neck. It's a medal of excellence, and the reason why we're awarding you is because you keep on track with your adjustments, and we know what happens when you're consistent with that. We know you're going to see great results, and we're proud of you, and we love you and appreciate you for that. So when we call your name, please stand up. Michelle Bradford. Everybody give her a round of applause. Paul Red, Nellie Thomas, and Adrian Reynolds. Where's Adrian? Adrian, you're good. I didn't say call. No. Good. Huh? I didn't say call Thomas, did I? Okay, well let's say good.
I think I heard that. I'm not sure.
You must be tuned into a different station, brother. So okay, so this is a University Health Core 4 degree. This is for coming to 6 or more workshops, and this one is presented to Carl Thomas. Come on down! Congratulations! I'm just messing with you. You're tuned into the right station. Yes, sir.
I wanted to make sure before I stand up.
No, you're tuned into the right station. Good. All right, everybody, if you can, please stand up and turn and face the person on your right. And I want you to put your hands on their shoulders and get that stress out. Good. Get that stress out. Love on your neighbor. All right, karate chop. Good. Wake them up. Still got about 10-15 minutes left. All right. Good, good, good. Are you still awake? Turn around. Return the favor. Get that stress out. Come on, you guys are doing great. Good. All right, karate chop.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. All right. So you know what to do with the, we still got a few more minutes left. So you know what to do with the food, what to do, what not to do, or what to do instead.
Yes.
And now what I'm going to do is give you some recommendations as far as supplements, because everybody always asks me what supplements to take for this, for that. And these are things that'll work in general for everybody. I'm going to give you general recommendations, and then I'll show you what to do on how to get more specific. So this is for basic hormonal support, basic fat burning, thermogenic fat burning effect, basic multivitamin and detox resource. So break it down one by one. The Mediclear is it's a multivitamin, but it's a protein source where you're going to get 20 grams of protein. So it's a shake. You use coconut milk or almond milk in the morning. You have all your vitamins and minerals in there. It has a low-level detox in it to address, all the components that we're talking about to help boost your liver and your kidney function, to start pulling the toxins out in a very gentle manner and fashion. And the other thing that it is, which is important, is it's very low in sugar. It's got like 5 grams of sugar, and it's fructose. It's free sugar. So what I do every morning is I have a couple of scoops of this after I work out, and I'll have almond butter and I'll have berries with that. So that's what I call the breakfast of champions. You can make smoothies out of it with fruit. You can make smoothies out of it with like a veggie smoothie with kale and lettuce and cucumbers, and there's a lot of different ways that you can mix it up. They have chocolate and vanilla, but that's one of the main components that I'm recommending because also if you're able in the morning to stay away from the breads, are you not at a serious advantage, right? Because what do we usually choose for breakfast? Oatmeal, bread, croissants, toast, Pop-Tarts, cereal, which are all carbs. And your insulin goes up and you're out of fat burning first thing in the morning. You don't want to do that. You want to stay in fat burning, and this is the easiest, most economical way to do that. When you look at the cost of groceries compared to what this is and how long it lasts you, it's a no-brainer. The next thing is Relora Plus, which is Relora we call the chill pill, because what it does is it actually helps to balance out DHEA, and cortisol levels. Remember we said when cortisol runs high, you're out of fat burning. So this helps control the cortisol levels to keep you in fat burning. It reduces the anxiousness feelings that you have that causes overeating also. And then you have green tea phytosome. How many of you guys know that green tea is a fat burner? You know that, right? Okay, so this has all the thermogenic or fat burning effects that green tea has without the caffeine. And so the other thing that you get with all of the Thorne products is maximum bioavailability, which means that it all goes in. So anybody can buy any supplement online or go to GNC, but the problem is that you're only going to find 1, 2, or 3 world-class facilities on the planet that have passed FDA inspection for purity and quality on the first round, and one of them is Thorne. And I've been to their facility. And the most expensive supplements, I can tell you guys, is the one that you urinate out, that your body cannot absorb. With Thorne, the reason why we use that is because it gets absorbed. Maximum bioavailability and quality and purity, which means you get the clinical result, which means you get fat burning. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you'd like to apply what we're talking about tonight, we always discount the supplements only at the workshops to incentivize you guys and enable you to kind of jumpstart your process with this. So if you get all 3, it's 20% off. If you don't get all 3, if you just want to get 1 or 2 here and there, it's 10% off of any of the other Thorne supplements. But there's limited supplies. We've got a few just for the workshop tonight. If you wanted to get that, that's what it looks like, and that's how they'll help you. Another way that you can save money is to get a gift certificate. How many of you guys like gift certificates? All right. How many of you guys read reviews online? Just a few of you? How many of you read reviews online? Wow, not that many people. Yeah. You know, if I'm not sure about something and I'm curious about something, I read reviews. And you know, you'll see 1 star, 2 star, 5 stars. You'll see people that are unhappy or happy. Which ones do you think I buy from? 5 stars. People that give raving reviews. So there's a lot of people out there now. We live in a digital age, guys. People are going on Facebook, they're looking on Google, and they're looking for chiropractors. 15% of our population sees chiropractors now regularly. So people are looking for chiropractors. There's 100 chiropractors in Plantation. How many of you think that we're different here and we offer something unique and life-changing? How many of you guys believe that? Well, if you want them to come here, then you write a 5-star review. If you write a 5-star review, we appreciate that more than you can imagine. And it's really heartfelt. I can't tell you how much we value that. And as you know, we give these away like hotcakes for anybody who does a review. 25% off any of the products that you want up there. And we ask you to do that because there's a lot of people that are hurting out there and they're looking for an answer. And if they read your review, that could be the tipping point to having them come into this office and having their life changed. So that's why it's so important. So please ask them about that. If you'd like to do that, they'll show you what to do. So I gave you general recommendations. Now I'm going to give you specific recommendations. A couple of years ago, I got involved with a program which enabled us to customize weight loss. So it involves technology, and it involved balancing hormones, and it involved specifically reducing fat in the body. Not just weight loss, but the ability to target fat loss. And this works more on a customized level by using the technology. The galvanic skin sensor, you put your hand on it, and the computer actually reads your biochemistry. And it can read what's in and what's out and which organs need support. And by way of that, it can tell us exactly which supplements you'll do best with to get you in fat burning and restore and reset your metabolism. So this is more specific, it gets more customized and more personalized for a person on an individual basis because everybody's chemistry is different, right? So when you have that technology, it allows you to do that. And I went through this program, and it's no joke. I mean, it really works. Many of you guys have done this. I was on the program, and in 20 days I had to pull the plug. I lost almost 20 pounds in 20 days. And we were able to look at it using something called a body composition analysis. So that reading on the left is something that gets printed out when you stand on a biometric scale, and it tells you what your body fat percentage is, what your water is, what your muscle mass is, what your BMI is, what your metabolic age is. So you don't know all this stuff. All you know is when you stand on a scale at home, what does it tell you? How much you weigh. But you don't know if you're obese or not. You don't know if you're in the danger zone. You don't know if you have the metabolism of a 90-year-old, even though you're 50. and the problem with that is that if you lose 10, 20 pounds, I'll put every dollar on the fact that you're going to gain it back if you've got the metabolism of a 90-year-old, right? So the only way to know is to have that body composition analysis, and that gives you the true reading. And so with this program, every week we do another body composition analysis. And that's the only way to know, besides the scale going down, if your body fat's going down and your metabolic age is going down, right? But your muscle mass and your water is going up. And that's what you call a healthy plan. That's a strategic, evidence-based outcome besides what you're just looking at on a scale. And once we get your BMI out of the danger zone, you've now invested in something that's, again, could very well save you from a heart attack or chemotherapy or radiation, God knows what. But this is very predictable. It works, and it works with each individual specifically and differently on that basis. But it takes the guesswork out of it. And we hold your hand through the whole thing, and it's guaranteed. I'll show you. Here, I'll show you. So basically, here's a couple of people who went through this.
Hi, my name is Carol Plevin, and I've been on the program for a little over 40 days, and I've lost 31 pounds, and I feel wonderful, without a doubt. Medicines, I've had to lessen on my cholesterol medication, and I just feel great, full of energy, and can't complain about anything. I'm ready for the next thing in life. Thank you.
My name is Jim Barry. I've been on the program for roughly 45 days now. I've lost about 35 pounds. I feel a lot better. My blood pressure has come down. My cholesterol has come down tremendously. The doctor even told me I have to cut back on some cholesterol medicines. My triglycerides that were off the charts before are now within reasonable rates. The program worked great for me. You just got to set your mind to it and you can do it. It's very easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's life-changing, when you hear that, especially when the doctors give you that feedback. They give you encouragement instead of more prescriptions, you get less prescriptions. So that's what's cool about it. But it's guaranteed, it works. Like if you don't lose, it's a 40-day, it's about a 40-day program. If you don't lose at least 15 pounds, then we put you through a second program. But most people, 15, 20 pounds is kind of the norm for women. For men, usually it's 25, sometimes 40 pounds. It's crazy how fast that weight comes off. But again, most importantly, it's not the weight. It's watching the fat come off and your metabolic age going from 70, 80, 90 years old down to under your chronological age. How would you like to be 50 years old and have the metabolism of a 35-year-old? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you think the weight's going back on if that happens? No sir, no ma'am, that doesn't work. So the body composition analysis gives you evidence of that. So if you'd like to have a body composition analysis, if you've never had that before, normally it's $99. When we do an event like this, we offer it for only $27. You can make an appointment at the end of the event tonight. If Allie's here, she can set you up an appointment. She's not here all the time, so she has specific hours, and we can help you with that, and you can learn more about the program if you would like. All right, so let's finish up with optimal nerve supply. Why is optimal nerve supply important? Because when you have hormones, where do the hormones come from? What makes the hormones in your body? Well, your adrenal glands, right? Reproductive organs, right? Your thyroid, right? Pituitary, right? All these organs and all these parts of your body, what makes them work?
Nervous system.
The nervous system, exactly. Very good. So your brain sends messages down through the spinal cord, out through the nerves, and it tells the organs what to do. And without that nerve supply, what do those organs do? Nothing. Go to the morgue. Go get a fresh cadaver. And they have a nerve system, right? They have a brain, a spinal cord. What do they not have? Life. So the nerve system brings life to the parts of the body so that your reproductive organs can make hormones, your adrenal glands can make hormones, so your pituitary, your thyroid, and all these things work the way they're supposed to so that you can feel the way you're supposed to feel, and your body can work the way that it was created to work. Without that nerve system running properly, everything else shuts down. Everything's out of whack. It doesn't matter how good you eat, how much you exercise. If you don't have proper nerve supply going to where it's supposed to go, it's all for naught. So the question becomes, how do you know if you have proper nerve supply? Because if a bone shifts out of alignment, what it does is it pinches and blocks the nerves. And that's where it shuts the nerve supply down to the parts of the body. How do you know if you have one of those pinched or blocked nerves, or many of them? Usually by how you what? Feel. Oh, I got you. That's a trick question. Gotcha. I don't know who said it, but I did get it. Now, some of you guys do feel that. You really do. Sometimes you do feel it. I'm just messing with you. If it's a problem that it's been there a long time, you know, it's like not brushing your teeth for many, many years. You don't feel the cavity most of the time, but then one day, oh, that thing is killing me. Your spine is kind of like that too. You know, you sleep on your stomach or on a bad mattress, you got slips, falls, trips, car accidents. You never get your spine checked out. And then one day you just wake up and you're in agony. You can't take it anymore. You go to the chiropractor, your spine's just a rotten mess. You know? We can't get you back to 100%. We can do the best we can, but what do we usually find? Lots of that. Lots of that. That's been there for many years. You just don't feel it because only 6% of that nerve feels pain. What percent? 6%. That's it. The other 94% is trying to bring function to your muscles and your organs and make new healthy cells. Meanwhile, it's shutting down as much as 60% of the nerve supply. That was found at the University of Colorado. Spinal biomechanics experts did a study. He found the weight of a what? A dime on one of those nerves in your back. The weight, that little amount of weight shuts down up to 60% of the nerve supply within minutes. And if that's going to your reproductive organs, the least of your problems could be weight loss. Maybe you can't get pregnant. Maybe you have painful irregular periods. Maybe you go into depression. If it's going to your thyroid, you could wind up on thyroid medication for the rest of your life. That's what happened to my dad until he got his first adjustment. If it's sitting on your brainstem here, I got news for you. That could cause high blood pressure. It could cause headaches. This is the top bone in the neck that has no disc above or below. It's only held together by ligaments, which is damaged by the thousands of falls that kids have when they're learning to walk and by the sports injuries and traumas and car accidents that we have. Most people are subluxated up here, putting pressure onto the brainstem, which controls your blood pressure, your breathing, immune system, sleep, your balance, and your neurotransmitters. So the problem is that everybody's going through life and I shouldn't say very few, I would say not enough people know that you're supposed to have your spine checked on a regular basis all throughout your lifetime. You know, for us to leave our kids at home and our family members and let them wait decades to get as bad as we are at our age, it doesn't make sense. If we can't get adults back to 100%, why do we have to let our younger generation go through the same thing? When do you start your kids getting their teeth cleaned, right? When do you start going to a dentist? How long do you go see a dentist for a regular checkup? It's the same thing. You're supposed to be having your spine checked all throughout your lifetime. Your teeth could rot and fall out. That's just a cosmetic thing, right? What happens if your spine decays and degenerates and you have permanent loss of nerve supply to important organs and tissues? Far worse consequences. And by the time you find out, it's usually what? Too late. Yeah. Most important thing is get it checked before that happens. One last thing, and then we'll
please state your name and rank. So, James, you've had some great results here in the office. You've only been under care, 4 or 5 weeks or so, and so what were some of the issues that you came in with?
I came in with high blood pressure, constant headaches, lower back pain, and just felt blah.
So how are things coming along for you since you've been getting adjusted in the office?
I feel great. No more headaches. I'm off my blood pressure medicine, and my back is feeling really good.
Awesome.
And I'm actually exercising.
That's good. So life is better.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Okay, so again, just a different thing. He wasn't on a weight loss program. All I did was adjust that top bone in his neck. And what happened to him? Again, a life-changing experience because we found the underlying cause of what was stopping his body from working the way it was created to work. So, I'm for most of you guys, I'm preaching to the choir, which I like to do anyway. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. But for some of you guys here, you're not under care, and I don't know if you're seeing a chiropractor on a regular basis. And so I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna finish until I at least offer you the opportunity to do that. And the way that you know whether or not you have interference to your nerve system or you have problems developing is not by how you feel. Lots of people get diagnosed with cancer or a heart attack and they feel fine, right? You have to have tests. You can't guess. And the tests we use to determine whether or not your nerve system is functioning properly is thermography, which is scans, and x-rays. So if you look at the scan on the left and it's got all those colors, is that good or bad? Right. Most people say it's bad, and it could be bad. But if you've got no symptoms, and we've just found all that interference shutting down nerve supply to your prostate, and if that went uncorrected, and we just saved you from prostate disease or prostate cancer, that's good. If we can find these things early and prevent sickness and disease, what is that worth? You know, so a good scan looks like that all the way over there, but that and the x-rays really give us a complete picture, not just based on how you feel, but what your future looks like coming down the pike. And that's invaluable. So I don't know who you are, if you're not under care, if you haven't had your spine checked, if you've got symptoms, if you've got health issues, and you want to see where it may be coming from or stemming from, be our guest tonight, usually for the testing, the thermal scan, the exam, the x-rays, the range of motion, the family history, all the testing that we normally do. Could be upwards of $300, $400, $500. But if you're a guest here tonight, on behalf of the person that was kind enough to bring you in, we do that for only $40. And we're very happy to do that for you, but the offer's only good for tonight. And the reason why I do that is because procrastination is the thief of health, right? And if you're serious about your health, there's no better time than now. The offer's gone when I leave the building. So I'm encouraging you to make that step and take that step. And Deborah, can you raise your hand over there for the guests who are eligible for that? Just see Deborah and she'll get you a time in the schedule and show you what to do. That $40 donation, that $40 for the examination on that first visit, that 100% of that goes to our mission to Haiti. That's a mission that I'm involved with my church, and Lord put it on my heart to be part of this when I saw one of our missionaries brought this video back. And I'll never forget the day that I saw that video and I saw them carrying coffins of children. They were building coffins for children, for their children that died in that earthquake. I'll never forget that. And that was it. Since that day in 2000, that was almost 8 years ago I saw that. These were the pictures on the left, and this is the picture just a couple of years after they started reconstructing that from donations, you know, from people like you guys who are here tonight, or when we go out in the community and do a talk like that. Anytime somebody comes in when I do a promotion like that, 100% of that goes to our mission to Haiti. My son just went back last year and he painted that building right there. That was cool. So we feed them, we clothe them. It's a church and it's a school, and amazing work is being done there and in and through, you know, everything that we're doing here. So I thank you guys for that, and that's who it benefits. So who's that ugly mug? That's just a reminder for me to ask you, would everybody agree that you learned something important tonight? Who do you think could benefit from this information?
Everybody.
Everybody? Yeah. Teachers? People at work? You know, people where you work? I do this out in the community week in and week out. I donate my time. I love teaching, leading, giving people encouragement, and giving them an opportunity to change their lives. So if you'd like me to come and speak at your place of work or worship or school, please let me know. I don't charge for that. That's my responsibility. It's a community service that I do regularly. Many of you guys have found your way through that, and it's just what we do. The world needs changing, and there's not a lot of time, guys. Time is of the essence. People are looking for an answer. They're praying every day. They're waiting for somebody to show up, and I'm ready to go. So I just need you to help. Just tell me. Just tell me where, when. We'll bring a meal. We'll bring a healthy meal and a healthy talk. It doesn't matter if it's lunch or on the weekend. You just let me know. And that's what we're recommitting to this year. So make sure you get credit for today's workshop. Get on the fat-burning supplements. Schedule a weight loss appointment if you want that, or schedule an appointment with Deborah over there. Got limited supplies with the supplements, but my staff is here to help you. So love and appreciate you guys. God bless.